Lewis Hamilton has never won here. Does any of that matter, though, when you arrive here with everything to play for, with Lewis seemingly on this rich vein of race-winning form, but Nico Rosberg still with relatively little to lose? It's a fascinating championship scenario with just 2 races remaining. Here are your championship rivals, Nico Rosberg first and Lewis Hamilton. Nico, hello, sir. Come Sunday afternoon, you could be world champion. Is that something that you allow yourself to think of coming into such an important weekend?
It's awesome, for sure, to be in that situation, you know, and to have to be fighting for the championship now with 2 races to go. Yeah, amazing. At the same time, though, you know, at the moment, I'm really focused on just performing the best I can, and for me, the way to do that is not to start dreaming about anything. You know, just stay right in the moment, put all the energies into it, and try and do the best performance this weekend, and focus on getting the win. And very simple, that's it.
You know what it takes to win here. You've won here before. Does that matter at all when you come into a new season, a new championship, a new fight?
It's just some good memories that I have, of course, here. But at the same time, you know, we all start from scratch this weekend. Everybody has the opportunity to win. Well, not everybody, but a couple of guys. And I just need to try and do the best job.
Following Mexico, lots of talk, obviously, about the manner in which you can race, track limits, those kind of things. Well, what direction do you think the sport needs to take in order to be seen as still an exciting sport, you know, with overtaking, with you guys properly on the edge as the best drivers in the world?
Well, I think we saw plenty of exciting stuff in Mexico, people being on the edge all over the place. So that's fine, that's good. And it's just, with the penalties, we need to try and get a bit more continuity in it, you know, to make them a bit more consistent. But we know that, and it's a difficult one because no situation is ever the same. But we just need to keep on working on that.
How do you approach this weekend? How do you come into it? Do you see it as a weekend in which you could lose your title, or do you look at it as a weekend in which you could keep the fight going?
Honestly, I just look at it as another weekend, and particularly a Grand Prix I've never won before. So I look at all the positives that are available this weekend. You know, I want to come and try and deliver the same performance, if not better, than I have the last 2 races. And I said I've not won this Grand Prix, so I want to win it more than ever. And then what else? Honestly, I've not really thought about the championship. You know, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. As long as I try and do the best job I can possibly do, that's all I can ask for myself.
After the difficult beginning you had last year here in the race, do you take heart from the fight back that you put in and the incredible drive that you actually made to catch up that time?
Not really. I mean, I don't mind having to chase, and obviously this year and even some points of last year I would be chasing the whole time, but you know, that's motor racing, and I think this year I've recovered a lot of points and a lot of ground, and now we're in a position where it's very hard to recover the ground that I've already lost. But you know, a lot of the ground that I lost was not down to myself. So you know, I'm just gonna, as I said, I'm just gonna continue to try and drive as I have in the last couple of races, full heart and all the way.
There's a lot of talk following Mexico about the ability to defend, the ability to attack, exceeding track limits. How do we get on top of that as a sport in terms of the direction we want to take in allowing people to fight and within a sort of a permissible racing surface?
I don't really know. I mean, everyone has a different opinion about it. I don't particularly have much of an opinion about it. I mean, I mean, I feel like I'm able to race as much as I want. But there are guidelines in terms of safety in which perhaps fans might not understand it fully because they're not in the car with us. And also they may not understand the difficult job the stewards have to do. But I think they do generally a great job. And of course there's sometimes things are questionable because it's just always such a different scenario, and there's not necessarily a specific rule for a new scenario that occurs, but they are trying constantly, and they're constantly challenged to have to improve. So
that's nearly a lot for Paddock Pass, but we can't come here to Interlagos, to Brazil, without talking about a guy who will, in just 2 races' time, be bringing an end to his Formula One career, who started out as a kid in the grandstands here, watching his heroes Piquet and Senna, and one day dreamt that he would follow in their footsteps. He has. He stood on the podium here more times than any other Brazilian driver. He had one hand on a world championship here until that last lap in 2008. Felipe Massa is a guy who has a legion of fans around the world, and at the Italian Grand Prix earlier this year announced he would be retiring from the sport at the end of the year. probably no surprise to a lot of people, his replacement, as announced this week, will be 18-year-old Lance Stroll, who has courted some controversy throughout his career, a career which started just 2 seasons ago in Florida Winter Series alongside Max Verstappen and other talented youngsters. I raced as well. I wouldn't describe myself as talented or young. And I didn't race. I just sort of shared a bit of asphalt with them. Anyway, it was lovely to get to know the guy and also to see how he's kind of matured and developed over the years. But he does court controversy. His father is incredibly rich. And there's been a lot of talk, is he deserving of the seat or not? I have written on that this week, and I would just say, regardless of how he's arrived here, there is now nowhere for him or his detractors left to hide. If he does the job on track, judge him on that and not what's gone before. I think that's true for all these guys. Anyway, he is 18 years old. Max Verstappen won't be the youngest guy in Formula 1 anymore. How weird's that? Strange times we live in. But he will be replacing Felipe Massa, back to the man of the moment. He is a hugely emotional guy, a hugely popular guy, and is very, very aware of just how emotional and how meaningful this weekend is going to be for him. Hello, sir. Your last Brazilian Grand Prix. Do you remember your first here as a fan?
As a fan, yes. I was in the grandstand there watching Nelson Piquet, maybe 86, 87, I don't remember exactly. Dreaming to be here. Then I came back to watch Ayrton Senna, Rubens Barrichello, dreaming to be here in this place. Managed to get here, winning 2 races, almost 3, but being the driver that got more, being the Brazilian driver that got more times in the podium here. It's definitely my garden, and it's a place that I love. I think this weekend will be very special for me, and really looking forward we can have a good race here and enjoy all the different days, different laps. And I think maybe the last lap of the race, but especially the last lap, when it's just coming back to the garage slow, watching the people, I think that will be an incredible feeling.
Being back here then, where the dream started for the last time racing, how much are you aware of the extent to which you're going to miss this at the end of the year?
Yeah, for sure. I will miss, definitely. I mean, I think maybe when we have the race in Interlagos, I will miss to be here, definitely. To be here driving, doing the most incredible thing, driving the best car with the best drivers. It's definitely, yeah, I will miss, but I think you need to understand the right time to stop. For me, it's the right time. I'm really proud of my decision. I will not miss so many other things, but yeah, definitely will miss some nice things on the sport, on the Formula 1. But I'm happy to finish with my head up, and yeah, I think the only thing I can say is thank you for all of you guys all around the world that were supporting me, that will be supporting me this weekend, but also in the last race in Abu Dhabi, but especially this race, you know. So yeah, thank you. I think it was a great pleasure for me.
So that really is your lot from Paddock Pass, and lovely to hear from Felipe and his words of thanks there. Here's where you can catch everything this weekend. Be sure not to miss any of it. It is going to be a wonderful occasion. While it is sunny today, we are expecting some rain to fall over the weekend. How much will that mix up the order? How much will that play into the ups and downs and ebbs and flows of this incredible championship season between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? We could have a world champion crowned on Sunday afternoon. Nico Rosberg could be that man. It's going to be a great weekend.